AA will be celebrated first week of June. And alcoholics come from all over the world. Dawn Farm has had some guests over the years from Japan. And one of the things that they always want to do is they have to make a pilgrimage to Akron, Ohio. They have to go to Dr. Bob's house. It's really funny. But people from all over the world have come to that house. So Bill lived there, and together, very quickly, within a few days, they went, where is it? They went to see this guy, Bill Dodson. Bill Dodson was a lawyer. He ended up a city council person in Akron, Ohio. Very successful guy, bad drunk. There's a story about him in the big book. He was called AA number 3. And that picture I showed at first, the picture of the man on the bed, is about Bill Dodson. And they went and told their story. They went and sat down with Bill Dodson and told their story. They came back the next day to see him, and he had thought that he'd hallucinated it. He told his wife, he said, "Oh, they were real. Those guys were real." He got sober June 26, 1935, and never took another drink until his death. And he was an important part of Alcoholics Anonymous in Akron, Ohio. He and his wife were mainstays along with Dr. Bob. And now, when did he die? I think he was almost 20 years sober when he died. Now, St. Thomas Hospital was an important place. It was where Dr. Bob worked, and it's where this woman worked, Sister Ignatia, who was a very important part of the early days of Alcoholics Anonymous in Akron. Sister Ignatia was in charge of admissions at St. Thomas Hospital. And they didn't like admitting alcoholics for obvious reasons. And so Dr. Bob and Sister Ignatia and another physician on the staff of this hospital worked out a secret admission plan. And they surreptitiously admitted alcoholics to this hospital, many of them, under basically fraudulent diagnoses in order to, and they ended up setting aside a ward that was entirely alcoholics. And she is still considered, in Akron especially, to be a very, very important. If you go to Founders Day, they'll have a picture of Bob and a picture of Bill Wilson and a picture of her, because she was so important to the early development of recovery in Akron, Ohio. They held their first meetings in homes, and they hadn't called it AA. They just called it, at first it was an Oxford group meeting. They eventually got big enough that they had a meeting, the very first meeting in Akron, Ohio was at King's School. Although even when it was at King's School, they didn't call it AA. Little local